I'm Andrew Hobler. I've been playing the guitar for 45 years. I started when I was 15. Makes me 60. What do? I play guitar most of the time when I can. I teach music as a one-on-one guitar teacher and perform professionally whenever I can, so gigs are sometimes really busy, sometimes less busy. So during COVID, of course, it's been less busy, but that's basically what I do as far as my music goes. What inspired me to start playing guitar? So I think my mum said to me when I was about 13, she said, "We've got a piano teacher who lives over the back. Do you want to learn piano?" And I went, "No, who wants to do that?" So I said no to that. And then when I was about 15, I guess, one of my friends brought a guitar over to my place, and I went, "This is very cool." And for some reason it just kind of caught my attention. I kind of couldn't put it down. Once I'd picked it up, and I borrowed my friend's one for a while, and then I spent a fortune, $15 on a nylon string guitar, and played that one constantly, till my fingers turned green from the copper in the strings. Literally played it all the time. So where did I go to university? Well, I studied in two places. I went to a place called the Musicians Institute in Hollywood, California. So my wife and I went over there and lived there for a year. And it's probably the greatest guitar school in the world. It was a fantastic experience. Learnt from a lot of the greats, like really literally great players, I don't really consider myself a guitar collector, even though I have quite a few. How many would I say I've had? I actually worked this out not so long ago, and it was somewhere, to the best of my memory, probably around 70 over time, but I've sold obviously most of them because I don't have 70 now. I don't think my wife would let me have 70. I think it'd be, I'd have stuff in the lounge room and all over the place. At the moment I have about 23, I think, but that includes banjos, which don't count, mandolins. I've got a banjo and a mandolin. What else? And a 12-string that I rarely play, but sometimes, particularly for musicals, it's one of the things they stipulate. So this guitar was given to me actually, and there's a bit of a story behind that. This is a Peerless guitar, is the brand name. It's called the Peerless Jazz City, and it's a big bopper, this one. And I use this sometimes. It's a really nice guitar to accompany on. It's got a lovely jazzy kind of warm sound. As far as the story goes about me being given this one, there's a lady down at Tweed Heads who runs the jazz every Saturday. She's been doing it for about 25 years. And so she puts together the musicians and advertises it and all that sort of stuff. Her name's Leslie. And I really hardly know Leslie. I know her a little bit from going down there and doing the gigs. And sadly her husband passed away a couple of years ago. And she said to me, after about a year, she said to me one day, I was down there playing for the jazz on the Saturday, and it's kind of a bit of a jam session really. And she said, "Oh, I've got something I want you to have a look at." So we went down to the office and she opened the case and this was in it. And I said, "Oh wow, that's really nice." I said, "Was that Dave's old guitar?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "I want you to have it." And I went, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, I want you to have it." She said, "You'll keep it for a while, you might give it to someone, you can sell it, you can do whatever you want with it." Anyway, it turns out that her husband Dave was one of Australia's first, probably the first guitar player to appear on TV in Australia. And He'd played on lots of recordings with people called Cold Joy and the Joy Boys. They were really big in the 60s and 70s, and Dave was like a session player, so he would play for them and then he'd do recordings and all that kind of stuff. So this guitar was one that he bought, I think, later on in life, and he certainly had used it on, you know, a few albums and things like that. So yeah, it's really lovely to have something like that. I met Dave a couple of times and always found him to be a very warm fellow. So whenever I go down to Tweed now to play at their jazz afternoon, I always take this one for Leslie's sake. So yeah, it's a lovely guitar, and it fits in as being one that's not like other ones that I've got. How long have I taught for, and what do I love about teaching? I've been teaching since about 1980, thereabouts. So I'd only been playing a fairly short time, and my teacher at the time was, he was leaving, and he said to me, "I think you'd be right to take over from me." And I thought, I've only been playing for a couple of years, you know. And he said, "Look, I'll show you what to do." And so he showed me, you know, what books to use and all that sort of stuff. So I sort of took over from him at the music shop. So we had, I think I probably had about 25 students or something there, pretty much straight away, which was really good. And I'm a teacher who likes to impart what I know, I guess, you know. So I think the thing I like the most about teaching is when somebody gets it and they respond to it, and you go, okay, yes, you know, we've made some progress here. That's always a really good feeling when that happens. And I also like the way, I guess, the way students start to hear things for themselves. So they'll, in their own playing, they'll hear something and then they'll say to me, "Oh, I was listening to this song on YouTube the other day and I heard this thing, you know," and I'll go, "I heard someone play that." And I go, "Great," you know, it means they're kind of listening and putting the physical part of playing into action at the same time.
I'm